Right now at 5, what 4 staters need to know before they head to the polls today.
And after an evening of severe weather across the area, considerably calmer today. We'll have a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, community members come together at a public hearing to talk about a potential water rate increase in the city of Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Tuesday, November the 5th. It is election day.
It is.
Of course, we have some special coverage this morning. We'll have all the latest results tonight and on air and online and, well, just about everywhere.
Absolutely.
This has been like the longest election year, it seems. It's just been up
a
and
lot
down and twists, turns, all sorts of stuff. I mean, it's taken forever to get to this point, but we are here. So make sure you get out and vote. It's going to be a little chilly if you do so. In fact, we're hitting our highs really right now because it's going to cool off as we head through the rest of the morning and into the afternoon. Let's start with a quick look outside from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. Roads are still wet and we still have some showers out there, and that will continue to be a possibility for the next few hours. With MoDOT camera, 20th and range line looking good as well. Let's go to the Skywatch storm tracker. So here we've got, again, just a few isolated showers, maybe a rumble of thunder or two mixed in with that. The bulk of the heavy rain now pushing off to our east after we got a good amount of rain across the area. We also unfortunately had the severe weather to contend with. So this is one that I highlighted here just in Rogers County, the far northwestern corner near Talala. This is a 94-mile-an-hour wind gust. It is believed it was likely a tornado, and there are reasons why. It was a pressure drop. They saw the circulation on radar, but at this point, until they get out there officially, it's a high wind gust. These orange marks are wind damage, and then there was a tornado that ultimately, the way it kind of tracked is almost a long track tornado, and some early estimates put it at an EF3 at its peak strength as it started to get close to the Arkansas border, and then caused some damage on the east side of Bentonville. So thankfully we did not have to contend with any tornadoes directly in our area, but we did have some reports around Chautauqua of a tornado on the ground last night. Weather Service survey teams will be out today, and we'll get more information on exactly how everything transpired last night. But boy, it was a very spring-like setup, and that's what we talked about. A very unusual setup for us yesterday. For today, mostly cloudy, showers through the morning. By the noon hour, they're going to be rolling on out of here. And really, we're kind of hitting our highs now. We're going to maybe top out at best maybe 60 degrees by the afternoon, and we'll have some gradually clearing skies overnight tonight. 62 in both Joplin and Pittsburgh, so keep those numbers in mind, as again, that's probably about as warm as it'll be. Cold fronts off to our east. Temperatures this morning, upper 50s. Most of us, though, still hanging out in the low 60s. These temperatures will kind of fall through the morning, and here's what we're talking about. Kids get on the bus. Again, a few showers out there, maybe a rumble of thunder, breezy, south winds gusting to 20, about 61. By the time the bus brings them home, mostly cloudy, still breezy, west winds now, and upper 50s when the bus brings them home. Yeah, temperature going down as we head into the afternoon. And again, that's how it's expected to be. 60s. And then eventually falling back through the 50s as we head into the afternoon and evening. Mostly cloudy skies, and again, the clouds won't really begin to break up until we get late evening and overnight. We've got a pretty decent day tomorrow and Thursday ahead of additional rain chances out there. We'll break down the details in your full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, today is Election Day, and even though polls aren't open yet, millions of Americans have already cast their early voting ballot. Now we turn it over to KOAM's Melissa Alexis, who is live at the Donald E. Clark Justice Center in Joplin. Melissa, what can you tell us about early voting in the 4 states?
I'm in Jasper County, and they've seen an increase in early voter numbers compared to the 2020 election. Ottawa County and Cherokee County have both seen a similar trend. In the 2020 election, Jasper County had a total of 11,488 total absentee voters. And as of noon yesterday, Jasper County had over 16,000 total absentee voters. Ottawa County had a total of 2,379 in-person absentee votes this year, a jump from the 2020 election where they were only 1,705 in-person absentee votes. Cherokee County saw a jump as well, with 2,030 in-person absentee voters this year, compared to 2020's 1,534 early in-person votes.
people are really excited about. And it's very evident because the vast majority of the voting turnouts during other elections are 10, 12, 15%. We've already voted 19% of our county absentee. So I think that people are excited about the election.
In Missouri, polling locations will open at 6 this morning and close at 7. But anyone in line by 7 p.m. tonight will still be allowed to vote.
All right, thanks, Melissa. Well, Election Day can be stressful, so it can be easy to forget what you can and can't do at the polls. KOAM Samantha Walker explains what voters should keep in mind when they go to cast their ballots.
Millions of people will be heading to their polling precinct to cast their ballots. We've already seen long lines of people ready to vote throughout the early voting period, and election officials say you should expect to see polls packed once again. Here's everything you need to know before you head out to vote. For the last presidential election in 2020, an estimated 159 million Americans cast their ballots. Officials project to see a similar turnout this year, meaning you can expect to see some lines when you go to vote. You'll want to plan out a time to go. There will be times when polls are busier than others, such as before and after people go to work or around lunchtime. And remember, if you're in line when polls close, stay in line. You still have the right to vote. Another thing election officials want voters to keep in mind are the laws surrounding electioneering. Electioneering is the process by which someone tries to convince voters to cast their ballots for or against particular candidates, parties, or issues. All of the 4 states have laws against electioneering at polling locations. This means you can't distribute notes on a campaign or an issue. You can't solicit signatures for a petition, and in most states you also can't have signs, buttons, or wear anything displaying a candidate's name, likeness, or logo, or displaying a ballot measure's number, title, subject, or logo. For example, you shouldn't wear a t-shirt or hat supporting or going against a specific candidate when you go to the polls. In Kansas, electioneering isn't allowed within 250 feet of a polling place. In Oklahoma, it's 300 feet. In Arkansas, it's 100 feet. In Missouri, electioneering isn't allowed within 25 feet of a poll's entrance. This election season, we've helped show you the candidates and issues you'll see on your ballot. To find more of those stories and other election resources, you can visit our website, koamnewsnow.com/elections.
And to find voting information for your area, just scan this QR code. It'll take you to election resources on our website, koamnewsnow.com. You'll be able to find all sorts of election info, including polling places and schedules. Now, Missouri Southern's Plaster Center played host for a public hearing last night for a potential rate increase for Missouri American water customers. Overall, Missouri American seeks to increase its water and sewer revenues by a little over 34%. Now, one customer speaking at tonight's meeting says this latest request comes too soon after watching his monthly bill jump $18 just last year. The Missouri Public Service Commission says hearing input like that is important.
It is critical that we hear from the public because frequently in these sessions, the public will point out issues for billing or for service or other things that should be part of the public record. And the commission does want to hear in the formal hearing what the public has to say. And this is their chance to have impact.
Now, you still have a chance to submit written comments on the commissioner's website at psc.mo.gov. Well, construction begins on a multi-million-dollar fiber optic project for the city of Joplin. The Joplin City Council approved the project with Allo Missouri LLC back in April. The fiber optic route will be installed with the help of contractors who will install underground ductwork. Some neighborhoods could see Allo representatives going door to door to help explain the process to residents. You can read more about this project on our website, koamnewsnow.com. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, the Kansas Jayhawks men's basketball team plays its first game of the season. We'll have those details. Plus, Prince William meets with young environmentalists in South Africa to focus on climate change. And we have a cool and cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
It's almost been a couple of weeks since the Missouri Southern Lions last played in a football game. Lions wrapped up a much-needed bye week as they head into their final home game of the season. It's not been the year that the Lions were anticipating. The Missouri Southern is still looking for their first conference win of the season. However, the good news is Missouri Southern still has a couple of shots left. This week, the Lions host Nebraska Kearney on Senior Day. Head coach Atiba Bradley spoke about this week's game.
If you come to games, if you watch the MIAA, it's a physical league. It's a league that takes a toll on you week in and week out. And so to be able to take a week and give the guys that take the majority of the reps a little bit of rest is huge, especially when you're talking about some guys that have been in college football for 3, 4, 5 years. Their bodies are sore.
It's been a good week to kind of step back for the starters and relax everybody. Like Bradley said, the young guys are getting a bunch of good reps, and we've been working on the fundamentals as well, so it's been pretty good overall.
Last night was the first day of the Division I men's college basketball season. The Kansas Jayhawks entered this year as the #1 ranked team in America. KU has a lot of expectations heading into this season. Kansas welcomes Howard into the Fog at Allen Fieldhouse. First half, KU leading by 12. Juan Harris lobs it to Flory Bedunga for the alley-oop slam. Jayhawks up by 14. Under a minute in the first half, Zeke Mayo, the South Dakota State transfer, gets the layup to go in. Kansas up by 27. So we go to the second half. There's Mayo again as he creates some separation. Top of the key and nothing but net from 3. Mayo finished the night with 19 points. Later in the second half, Hunter Dickinson works down low. Beautiful pass inside to Zach Clements for the dunk. The #1 team starts 1-0. Kansas wins big, 87-57. Meanwhile, the Mizzou Tigers were also in action last night. Missouri had a 10-point lead at halftime, but Memphis comes back to win the game 83-75. Anthony Robinson had 16 points for the Tigers in this one. MU will face Howard on Friday night. Both Oklahoma and Oklahoma State are also playing in their first game last night. Both games started with a late tip-off. OU beats Lindenwood 93-60. Sooners are 1-0. Oklahoma State beats Green Bay 89-76. Cowboys start the year in the win column. Then the Oklahoma City Thunder are back on their home court. OKC looks to stay undefeated as they host the Orlando Magic. Oklahoma City Thunder goes on to win this one 102-86. The Thunder is still undefeated with a 7-0 overall record. The Kansas City Chiefs playing Monday Night Football for the second time this year. Chiefs played at Arrowhead for the first time in almost a month. It's Chiefs and Tampa Bay Buccaneers on a rainy night in Arrowhead. Mahomes went down with an apparent injury, but he's back up and looks to be okay. Tampa Bay forced this game into overtime. Kansas City wins in overtime 30-24 over Tampa Bay. Well, still to come, we're going to see why a new study says children and pregnant women should curb their sugar intake. Plus, it's going to be a bit of a cool or just downright chilly day today. More rain on the horizon. A look at that forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:18 on this Tuesday morning. We're starting with Skywatch Storm Tracker. We still have some isolated to scattered showers across the region. The bulk of the heavy rain and flooding concerns now off to our east at this point, but we could still be dealing with a few showers. Got a few of these, the last of the big batch exiting to the east of Cassville. Nothing else really in Missouri at this point. Down into Oklahoma, we've got some showers up into Craig County and into Newada County as well, stretching back to Washington County. Again, light showers. We're not expecting anything strong, severe, anything like that this morning. And a few light showers in southeastern Kansas, a couple of stray showers in Bourbon County and down toward Independence and Coffeyville into Montgomery County just south of Fredonia. And here's a look at the rain totals. This is just the last 24 hours. So again, this is like yesterday. This is just going back 24 hours ago. You can see where the bulk of the heavy rain fell, but look at some of these totals out there. Upwards 7, 8, 10 inches in these little white spots here to the east of Branson. That exceeds the map limit on the left legend, which means we're talking a foot of rain, if not more, for some of us out to the east. And even though Kansas, you didn't get much in on the severe weather, especially the further west counties out here, you still did get some rain, upwards of 1 to 3 inches. And we've needed this rain badly across the region. So again, a few showers still working their way in. We've got a few back down into parts of central Oklahoma and stretching into north central Texas that will gradually make their way through our area. And those should be on the way out, though, by about the noon hour. Most of them confined to the Missouri side by noon. We're just going to be dealing with mostly cloudy skies out there, gusty west winds pushing 25, maybe 30 miles an hour, and we'll eventually get some clearing going on late evening and overnight where we'll go partly cloudy. Now, of course, without the clouds, not like it's going to be warm today. There's no thermal blanket, so we're going to get pretty chilly in some locations as we head toward Wednesday morning. Through our Wednesday, another partly cloudy day. Will eventually be a little warmer. Winds will be out of the east at 5 to 10. We're talking mid-upper 60s for most of us. And we'll carry on into our Thursday. Thursday looks pretty good as well. We're looking at partly cloudy skies, and it won't be until late Thursday evening and into the overnight hours, and we'll see another round of a few showers out there, maybe a rumble of thunder. But again, at this point, not anticipating anything severe, but I will tell you right now, I want to be straightforward with you. It is something that's being watched. It's another system that's coming through. There's a remote possibility of some strong, possibly severe storms by Thursday night into Friday. I think overall, though, our chances are very low, which is good because we do not need any more severe weather right now. Just the rain. 61 in Joplin, mostly cloudy skies at this point. Of course, still wet roadways out there. Got plenty of rain. Our cold front off to the east. That's leaving the majority of us in the low 60s, but we do have some upper 50s out there. Sedan, Independence, and Bentonville, for example. Otherwise, again, keep in mind, most of us, Chanute's a great example, sitting at 63, you're reaching your highs now. Temperatures at best by this afternoon are going to hit about 60. We'll have those scattered showers, cloudy skies through the first half of our day, and you can see just kind of hovering upper 50s, low 60s out there. We're going to reach those highs technically in the afternoon of about 60, but again, official highs are going to be a little bit warmer than that. Once the rain clears out, mostly cloudy. We're still mostly cloudy through a good chunk of the evening before eventually skies begin to clear a bit. We'll go partly cloudy and we'll fall back into the mid and upper 40s, maybe even some low 40s in some cases out there. Over the next 10 days, though, it's not going to be too bad. Again, a decent Wednesday for us, not bad Thursday, not bad, and then we'll have those showers out there. Showers Friday and into Saturday. Again, something we'll keep an eye on, but we're not overly concerned about. And we'll be hanging out, temperatures seasonably cool as we go into the low 60s. Not bad Sunday. We warm up a bit. We'll start to go a little above normal as we kick off the next work week with some additional thunderstorm chances as we head into next Wednesday. And that is a check of your forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning. Well, a new study says children and pregnant women should curb their sugar intake. Researchers found reducing sugar during pregnancy and up to age 2 may cut a child's risk of chronic illnesses in adulthood. Specifically, it decreased the risk of type 2 diabetes by about 35%. It also dropped the risk of high blood pressure by about 20%. And for this study, researchers looked at data from before and after the end of the United Kingdom's World War II era sugar rationing. The study was published Friday in the journal Science. Well, nearly 3 million U.S. adults have epilepsy, according to the CDC. But many people don't know much about this brain disease and the seizures it can cause. In honor of Epilepsy Awareness Month, Mandy Gaither has what to know about this spectrum disorder and explains what to do when someone is having a seizure.
It's one of the most common neurological diseases. Epilepsy is a chronic brain disorder that leads to abnormal electrical discharges within the brain, causing recurring, unprovoked seizures.
It still carries quite a lot of mystery amongst the general public.
Dr. Dilip Nair with Cleveland Clinic says the severity of epilepsy varies from person to person, but it can affect anyone at any time of their life.
People who aren't really aware of the disease, it can look scary.
That's why Nair says it's important to know what to do when someone is having an epileptic seizure. There are 3 things to remember. First, keep the patient safe. Make sure they're not bumping into anything. Do not restrain them, and don't put any objects in their mouth. Next, turn them onto their side.
So that if there is vomit or saliva that's coming out, it comes out of the body rather than back into the lungs.
And stay with them. Time the seizure if it lasts more than 5 minutes. If they're injured, having difficulty breathing, or experiencing repeated seizures, Nair says to call 911 immediately.
Many people who have epilepsy have rescue medications that are prescribed, and if you're a caregiver or a family member and you have those medicines, you can use them as prescribed by your doctor.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Nair says there are dozens of anti-seizure medications and new therapies being studied, including gene therapy that can help patients with epilepsy. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got a calm and chilly start to the day out there. Temperatures cool through the afternoon. We will have another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Right now at 5:30, a candidate for U.S. Senate makes a stop in southwest Missouri.
And we've got a much calmer start to the day after the severe weather rolled through yesterday. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door, coming up.
Plus, a dentist's office in Carthage turns unopened candy into benefits for overseas soldiers.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Tuesday, November the 5th. It is election day.
Yes, it is.
Got some election coverage this morning.
Certainly.
Of course, we'll have the results tonight. I think it's going to be one of the best turnouts for an election in a long time.
Yes.
We've already talked about the early voting, number of folks out there.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's been a wild election year, and we finally made it to this point. So I'm very excited to see what happens next.
Absolutely. And if you haven't already, go make sure that you exercise your right to vote because it's important. We only get to do it 4 times. I mean, for the general election, that is.
Yeah. So get out there and vote. And if you are doing so, you might want to wear a jacket. It's going to be a bit on the chilly side as we head out to the polls today. Let's start with a quick look outside. Our camera downtown Pittsburgh. Roads are still a bit on the damp side, and they may have an opportunity to get a little wetter as we go through the morning with some showers out there. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline Joplin. Again, wet roadways for sure as we start the day because, well, we got ample amounts of rain yesterday. Here's what we're looking at in Skywatch Storm Tracker. We're seeing a bit of an increase in shower coverage across parts of southeast Kansas and northeastern Oklahoma, and some heavier rain just to the northeast of Tulsa on the Will Rogers Turnpike. The bulk of the activity that pushed through overnight last night now off to our east. But again, we will continue to see these showers rolling in. In fact, I'll take just a moment and we're going to drag you down here. You can see we've got a few additional showers that are beginning to develop in between Oklahoma City, McAllister, heading up again our direction. Nothing severe today. Nothing like that at all, and this should all be done by about noon. Now, yesterday, though, we had several tornado reports out of a storm that it really took in a lot of the energy that was available out there, and I watched it all through the evening, and it was just insane. It's preliminary, but they do believe at its peak, this particular tornado, as it was getting close to the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line, may have reached EF3 strength. That's radar estimates, though. Official teams will be out there, but there was damage all the way up to the east side of Bentonville. This report I highlighted right in the northwestern corner of Rogers County. Mesonet site recorded winds 94 miles an hour, and they do believe that it may have been a tornado that rolled through there. And of course, we had some tornado reports around Chetopa. Weather service teams will be making all these assessments today, and we'll have more information on what they find out that rolled through the area. As for today, though, again, showers exiting by noon. We're going to be mostly cloudy, cool, and breezy. Temperatures capping out at about 60, and those west winds gusting upwards of 25 to 30 miles an hour. We are sitting at 61 in Joplin, 62 in Pittsburgh, and in all honesty, at this point, our temperatures now for many of us this is about as warm as it's going to get today. We got some upper 50s, low 60s across the area. Kids get on the bus, again, a few showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. 61, south winds gusting to 20. Again, the winds will shift out of the west later, gusting to 25. And take a look, temperatures down, mostly cloudy, upper 50s when the bus brings them home. So again, capping out at about 60, early morning highs though into the low 60s, mostly cloudy out there, and eventual clearing overnight tonight. We'll talk more about that clearing and the cool temperatures in our next round of rain here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, today is, of course, Election Day, and the polls aren't open just yet. When you are heading to the polls later on, there are a couple of do's and don'ts that you might not be aware of. We now turn it over to KOAM's Melissa Alexis, who is live at the Donald E. Clark Justice Center in Joplin. Good morning, Melissa.
I'm at the Donald E. Clark Justice Center, and polls open in just 30 minutes. As you make your way down to the polls, it's important to remember that any apparel like hats or pins showing support for any candidate are not allowed within 25 feet of the polling location. To vote, you need to bring an acceptable form of ID. This includes a non-expired Missouri driver or non-driver's license, a non-expired military ID, including a veteran's ID, or non-expired passport. If the driver or non-driver's license expired after the last general election, it's still a valid form of voter ID. Reporting in Jasper County, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
All right, thanks, Melissa. Well, the Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate visited Southwest Missouri yesterday. Lucas Kuntz stopped by the Mini Hackney Community Service Center in Joplin. Now, the Senate hopeful talked about community neighborhood outreach and the importance of voting.
And so for me, this campaign is about everyday folks. It's about not taking money from corporate PACs. I don't take any, nothing from federal lobbyists, nothing from big pharma executives. And so in order to meet everybody, I don't have the zillionaires funding super PACs or anything. So I got to go out, meet everyday Missourians and talk to them. And so that's what we're doing today. It's what we're doing every single day.
Lucas Kuntz is a 13-year Marine veteran who is running against incumbent Republican Senator Josh Hawley. And to find voting information for your area, just scan this QR code. It'll take you to election resources on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. You'll be able to find all sorts of election info, including polling places and schedules. You can even check to see if you're registered to vote. Well, the Riverton High School FCCLA program is partnering with Community Blood Center of the Ozarks. Yesterday's blood drive was an opportunity for community members to donate blood. Not only does the blood drive help fill community blood banks, but it also helps provide scholarships for FCCLA members.
Giving blood, yes, it can be very frightening, but honestly, it's just really heartwarming. And knowing that, now we have a program where if you give your phone number, sometimes the person who receives your blood can text you and give you a thank you letter and let you know that you did save their life. And so that's just really good.
Riverton schools will host another blood drive on March 10th. And if you're looking for a sweet way to protect your teeth while supporting our soldiers, this may be the perfect solution. Carthage Pediatric Dental is inviting people to donate their unopened Halloween candy to be sent to soldiers overseas. For every pound of candy donated, people can earn $1. But of course, dentists stress brushing those teeth when it comes to candy.
I definitely have a lot of parents who come in here and their biggest concern is, my kid's a snacker, my kid loves candy, they love the super chewy, gooey stuff, and we obviously try to say, hey, like Doctor was saying, have a good time with the candy, but making sure you're getting in there and brushing and taking care of your teeth after that.
Carthage Pediatric Dental will also work with the Carl Junction School District students to get these treats to the troops. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. At least 10 people are dead, with many more feared dead after volcanic eruptions destroy homes in Indonesia. Plus, Israel has terminated its agreement with the United Nations agency. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch. Prince William meets with young environmentalists and local fishermen in South Africa. His visit will focus on climate change and conservation, and he will see his Earthshot Prize Award grants to multiple organizations for innovative environmental ideas. William will also attend a global wildlife summit and visit a sea rescue institute during 4 days of events in Cape Town. The Prince of Wales' last visit to Africa was in 2018. His visit comes a month after his brother Harry, the Duke of Sussex, visited South Africa and Lesotho for a youth charity he helped create. A volcano erupts in Indonesia, killing at least 10 people, with many more feared dead. Several volcanic eruptions on the remote island of Flores overnight spewed thick ash into the air and sent hot ashes onto several villages. Indonesia's National Disaster Management Agency says rescuers are still searching for more bodies buried under collapsed houses. At least 10,000 people have been affected by the eruption, and officials warned of more volcanic activity at Mount Luabapi Laki-Laki, which has erupted dozens of times in the past few weeks. Well, Israel said it has terminated its working agreement with the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees, which is Gaza's main aid provider. Israel claims the agency has been infiltrated by Hamas. UNRWA denies this and says the humanitarian crisis will worsen. Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
Despite continued U.S. pressure for a ceasefire, Israel appears to be increasing its strikes against Hamas and Hezbollah, while severing ties with an aid group helping to keep 1 million Palestinians from starving to death in Gaza. On Monday, Israel's government said the United Nations agency had been infiltrated by Hamas, a charge the UN denies.
This contradicts principles of the UN Charter. It violates Israel's obligations under international law and sets a dangerous precedent.
There is no other way to distribute aid in sufficient form. UNRWA plays a critical role.
The war is slowly expanding past the country's borders. Israel has intensified strikes on Hezbollah targets in Lebanon and on Sunday conducted a ground raid in Syria. On Monday, the U.S. warned Israel it is deeply concerned by reports of Israeli settlers burning Palestinians' cars in the West Bank. State Department officials pushing Monday for both sides to de-escalate.
Israel cannot afford, for many reasons, economically, diplomatically, in relation to its standing in the world, to just continue to fight a perpetual conflict in Gaza.
Estimates vary, but the Hamas-controlled Palestinian Health Ministry reports that more than 43,000 people have been killed in Gaza since October of last year.
And that's a look at World Watch. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Now 5:46 on this Tuesday, Election Day here in the 4 states. So again, make sure you get out and vote, and we'll have the coverage for you here. We also have the coverage of the showers we're expecting, at least in the first half of our Tuesday. We're getting some of those now into Kansas and Oklahoma. And take a quick radar tour. Now on the Missouri side, the last of the main showers out of our area. The heavier rain now pushing to our east, where of course they're dealing with flooding concerns, so it's stretching from Lebanon just east of Springfield down to Branson into northeastern Oklahoma. A couple of isolated showers around Miami and around Veneta, and we've got almost all of Nowata County with some rain out there and some moderate rainfall now starting to enter the southwestern portions of Craig County, and we've got more showers. If you look back to the southwest of Skiatook down near Tulsa, we'll have those rolling into our area progressively, and a few light showers in Montgomery County around Independence, just west of Parsons and southeast of Fredonia. So here's a look at the rain totals. Take a look at some of these maps. This is the last 24 hours. Remember yesterday we showed you where that rain had fallen. This is just from the last 24 hours. And take a look out to our east. That's why they're having flooding concerns. We're talking a foot of rain to the southeast of Branson. Into our area, though, and these oranges and everything, we're talking anywhere from 3 to 8, upwards of almost 10 inches of rain. And even where you didn't have to contend with too much in the way of severe weather, say around Chanute Yates Center, still getting upwards of 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. Here's what we're looking at in terms of additional showers. So here goes that first round of activity. Here comes some of this. And if we look a little further to the south, down toward Oklahoma City, just to the east, we got a few other showers. And these will continue to roll through as we head through the morning. And by noon, last of them on the Missouri side primarily, and they will be out of here by 1 o'clock at the latest. That's going to leave us mostly cloudy, cool, and breezy. We'll have west winds out there gusting 25, maybe up to 30 miles an hour. So the other thing is we have probably already hit our highs at, say, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, as warm as it's going to get today. Then we'll hover about 60. And as we head later into the afternoon, temperatures will begin to fall out there. We're looking most of us mid-upper 40s, but as you can see, we could have some low 40s as we go overnight tonight. Heading into our Wednesday, a light east breeze, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Be a pinch warmer as we go mid-upper 60s and partly cloudy skies. Thursday looking pretty good as well, partly cloudy also out there. Not as warm as it'll be tomorrow, believe it or not. We're looking at low to mid 60s for us on our Thursday. As we head late Thursday night into Friday, we have another round of showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two that'll be rolling in. And in all honesty, again, full disclosure on this, it is something that's being watched by the Storm Prediction Center. The odds of severe weather in our area extraordinarily low, but there's that little bit of a chance. So it's something we'll keep it on, but I think really we're just looking at some more additional much needed rain without the severe threat. 61 in Joplin right now, mostly cloudy skies. Of course, wet roadways out there. Cold front to our east. Most of us in the low 60s. We do have some upper 50s. Bentonville, Sedan, Independence right now as slightly cooler spots. Many of us, again, these temperatures are as warm as it'll be. We'll hover into the upper 50s, some low 60s out there. Scattered showers, cloudy skies through the morning. And again, highs, ultimately early highs in the low 60s, but for the afternoon, we'll probably cap out at about 60 out there. As we look over the next 10 days, again, tomorrow, not bad, upper 60s for many of us, mid 60s, low to mid 60s Thursday, showers late Thursday into Friday and into Saturday morning. Got a nice weekend, a little above normal to kick off the next work week with more thunderstorm chances next Wednesday. Let's check your forecast. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Well, a caught on camera moment from another world involving a planet, its moon, and the sun is incredibly odd. Jerry Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Today we are totally spaced out as we look at a handful of wild interstellar whatnot that's simply out of this world. First, take a look at what looks like something taking a look at us. This so-called cosmic googly eye was captured on Mars by NASA's Intrepid Perseverance rover during a recent solar eclipse. It was a product of Mars' lumpy potato-shaped moon Phobos, passing between the red planet and the sun. If the loopy look looks familiar, it's because it isn't the first time. Back in 2019, the Curiosity rover captured an internet-worthy transit, and that interstellar eye roll went viral. The latest spooky stare from up there may not go viral, but the video did arrive just in time for the Halloween season. Not creepy enough for you? How about this way more intense deep space gaze that comes courtesy of 2 telescopes? What's been dubbed the blood-soaked eyes is a pair of spiral galaxies passing each other in close proximity, relatively speaking. The image combines mid-infrared light from the James Webb Telescope with visible and ultraviolet light from the Hubble to give the passing pair a macabre look as it gazes at us as if to say, "Look upon me and despair, mere mortals." Yes, spiral galaxies do in fact sound like Gandalf the Wizard. It's science, people. Finally, this last one is a trippy and time-traveling taste of what a supernova may have looked like centuries ago. A recent discovery of a nebula led astrophysicists to track it back to what was reportedly a massive supernova first observed by astronomers in the 10th century. Using modern tech, they were able to map the remnants and recreate the centuries-old explosion in stunning 3D glory. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
We'll be right back. Well, Election Day is finally here, and some businesses are offering freebies and deals to voters. Places like Starbucks and Krispy Kreme are offering sweet Election Day deals. Those who place a delivery order of $20 or more at Starbucks can get 30% off. And at Krispy Kreme, fans can get a free original glazed donut and an I voted sticker. Those who may need a ride to the polls can score on some deals, with Uber and Lyft offering a 50% discount up to $10. Hertz is also offering rental discounts, and voters can get 1 rental day free, including Election Day, when they rent a vehicle for at least 2 days. And we all know that today is Election Day, but it's also National Donut Day. Now, this is the second of 2 days this year that celebrates this sweet treat. The origins of the donut are in dispute. Some say Dutch settlers introduced them to the U.S. However you choose to celebrate, make sure you enjoy your favorite donut.
We've got some great donut shops here in the 4 states, so go out and get yourself maybe a dozen or a couple dozen of them. There's never too many donuts, especially on an Election Day morning. You got to get sugared up, ready to go, right? Hey, you want to be a little slow on the roadways. They're going to be wet, so do be cautious, as we're going to have scattered showers through the morning, cloudy skies, and gusty west winds pushing about 30 miles an hour, 25, 30 miles an hour. Temperatures hovering upper 50s, low 60s. We're hitting these highs right about now. We're really going to cap out at about 60 in the afternoon, but temperatures gradually falling through the afternoon as well. Rain should come to an end by 1 o'clock at the latest, leaving us mostly cloudy out there. And then later this evening, we'll start to see some gradual clearing, going partly cloudy, mid-40s. Could see some low 40s out there, though. So a bit of a chilly night for us, but seasonably chilly. As we look over the next 10 days, nice day Wednesday, partly cloudy, upper 60s, low to mid 60s on Thursday. Evening showers Thursday into Friday, lasting into Saturday morning. And then after that, we warm up a bit to kick off the next work week with more storm chances next Wednesday. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.